Welcome to Winning at Life Online, the place of empowerment, of money advice, work and lifestyle. With the recent book being released, putting in question President Donald Trump's mind state, whether he is a genius or mad, today we look at the 6 top US presidents based on IQ score. The United States of America has had many clever and not so clever, memorable, not so memorable presidents. But which are the most clever, as rated by their IQ score? Here we look at just the top 6 US presidents, as rated from 6 to 1, just on their score of intelligence. So, number 6, Woodrow Wilson. Woodrow Wilson was the 28th president and leader of the progressive movement of the United States of America. He had an IQ score of 152. Wilson was the president of Princeton University from 1902 to 1910, before serving as the governor of New Jersey from 1911 to 1913. After he was elected president, Wilson began pushing for antitrust legislation, which culminated in the signing of the Federal Trade Commission Act in September 1914. He is perhaps best remembered for his speech, 14 Points, which he presented to Congress towards the end of World War I. The speech articulated Wilson's long-term war objectives for forever peace in the future, one of the most famous being the establishment and his input for the League of Nations, a preliminary version of today's United Nations. Number 5. Bill Clinton. William Jefferson Bill Clinton was the 42nd president, serving from 1993 to 2001. He has an IQ of 156. After graduating from Georgetown, winning a Rhodes Scholarship to Oxford University, and earning a law degree from Yale in 1973, Clinton was elected governor of Arkansas in 1978. He went on to win the presidency with Al Gore as his running mate in 1992 and is perhaps best remembered for his work with Tony Blair in brokering peace in Northern Ireland and the Balkans. Although known infamously by the scandal that has dogged him for years, as remember, he did not have sexual relations with that woman. Number 4. Donald J. Trump. With the recent release of the book claiming the White House is in chaos and Donald Trump is either mad or a genius, he recently took to Twitter saying that he was a genius as he couldn't have accomplished everything without being genius, borderline idiosyncrasy. Donald Trump is very well known for The Apprentice USA and his exploits on Twitter and his business empire. His effective and unorthodox leadership style, which led him to the US presidency. He is also known for the big powerhouse of businesses throughout the 1980s and the 1990s to present day, with his now powerful and influential family. But let's look at his IQ now. There has been much debate to his IQ score, as you can see online as well. There have been many questions, but in here it is facts surrounding Donald Trump. Graduated from the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania in 1968 with a Bachelor of Science in Economics and Anthropology. Mensa doesn't accept SAT scores from after 1994. However, Mr. Trump was a student at Wharton when it was possible to derive an accurate IQ, known as SAT scores. Given the usual requirements for admission to a top school like Wharton, Mr. Trump would have had an IQ of 156. Number 3. John F. Kennedy, JFK. John Fitzgerald Kennedy was the 35th President of the United States of America, serving less than 3 years before he was assassinated in 1963. He had an IQ of 158. Kennedy graduated from Harvard in 1940 and joined the Navy shortly thereafter, suffering injuries while serving in combat in World War II. He was elected president in 1960. He gave one of the most memorable inauguration addresses in recent memory. saying, "Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country." He is perhaps best remembered for his successful fiscal programs, which greatly expanded the US economy, creating it to one of the powerhouses in modern time. His push also for civil rights legislation that would enhance equal rights led him to great legacies. He is one of the most loved and cherished presidents, not only in the United States, but also worldwide, known as the Worldwide Presidents, with his no-nonsense approach to any aggressor. Number 2. Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson was an American founding father and served as the country's third president between 1801 and 1809. He had an IQ of 160 according to Simonton's estimates. Jefferson graduated from the College of William and Mary before going on to study law. He was a notably bad public speaker, according to White House records. He reluctantly ran for president after gradually assuming leadership of the Republican Party. As a staunch Federalist and advocate of states' rights, Jefferson strongly opposed a strong centralized government. One of his first policy initiatives after becoming president was to eliminate the highly unpopular tax on whiskey. Number 1. John Adams. John Adams was the second president from 1797 to 1801, after serving as the nation's first vice president under George Washington. He had an IQ of 173, again according to Simonton's estimates. Adams studied law at Harvard and was an early supporter of the movement for US independence from the British Empire. Ambitious and intellectual, he frequently complained to his wife that the office of vice president was insignificant. He is perhaps best remembered for his skills in diplomacy, helping to negotiate a peace treaty during the Revolutionary War and avoiding a war with France during his presidency. Thank you for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the top 6 presidents by IQ score. I also do product reviews, money advice and saving tips, general life hacks. Please like and subscribe and look out for more.